Do you think in Dabo's 2022 season he can play the no one believes in us and little old Clemson cards and get Clemson back to an ACC title? Short answer, yes, I do think he can do that. For those of you unfamiliar with what we're talking about here, you must be a pretty new college football fan, which is fine. We welcome all newcomers. But this was kind of the MO for a little while of Dabo at Clemson. Now, Dabo in and of himself is not inauthentic when he does this. This has been the way he's wired for a long time. You can talk to people going all the way back to his days in little old Pelham, Alabama. The way that he came up, the way he ended up being able to play at Alabama, the way he ended up being able to become the head coach at Clemson. It's always been a me against the world. It's always been a little old me. It's always been, you fill in the blanks, the same kind of mantra that he built that early string of success. When I say early, I mean the national championship years for Clemson, that early modern string of success for Clemson. He built it on a foundation of that. When they played with that chip on the shoulder type mentality. They truly played like they thought no one in the world thought they could do anything, and so they had to face the 11 guys across the ball from them, but also those guys up in the booth, and everyone at home, and those guys in the desert, and everyone in between. They're all against us. It doesn't matter if that's reality or not. If you can convince a locker room full of people, including your staffers, that is the case, they'll play in accordance with that philosophy. He did that. Well, I was down in Columbus, Georgia at the time, but I've reiterated it several times here. The problem, if you want to call it that, with that kind of approach is it always has a finite amount of resource for you, a finite amount of fuel, because the more that you climb the mountain and the higher and closer to the mountaintop you get, then all of a sudden everyone believes in you, and it runs out of steam when you continue to try and convince people that no one believes in you, but you're favored by 14 points in a top 10 matchup. So anyway, now we've had a couple of years, and especially last year, the question was, can he use that card again this year? I think he can. I think they may be favorites to contend in the ACC, yes. But we're still a couple of months away from preview magazine season, so we'll see. But how many preview magazines are going to have that big orange tiger paw on the cover? How many preview magazines are going to coronate Clemson as anything more than an ACC championship contender? Certainly don't think the noise will be as pronounced as we've grown accustomed to it being. That's the one advantage to 2021 going the way it did. Now, if you want to know about the stature of this program, think about the fact that they won 10 games last year, and we are referring to it as a bona fide dip, as a bona fide down season. That's like Alabama territory. That's the level that Nick Saban got to, where if you won 10 games there, yeah, that'd be a down year. Well, Dabo and Clemson won 10 games last year. Down year. And everyone, including me, agrees with that. Down year. So you got the record. And then also people, they question replacing the staffers probably even more than can you rebound from a quote-unquote down 10-win season. I think that Dabo Swinney is going to be able to authentically and genuinely use this, if he so chooses, as motivation and fuel for his program this year. Personal feel on this, I've never been crazy about this tactic. But that's personal philosophy. Who cares? I don't run the Clemson program. He does. He's won 2 national championships and counting by doing it the way he does it. So far be it for me to look at a guy with more jewelry on his hand than I'll ever have and say, actually, here's how you should be doing it. Yeah, I think he's going to be able to use it this season at least.